Today, we're talking about living simply so that we can live more happily in retirement. This is part of our ongoing series on happiness in retirement. And today, I'm going to share with you some quotes, my own thoughts, and some ideas from others around the concept of living simply. So let's get started. I'm a fee only financial advisor. And this video is meant to be educational and for entertainment purposes only. It's not meant to be personalized advice. So if you need personalized advice, reach out to us or somebody like us. But if you're okay with that, then feel free to stay tuned because we do put out videos on a weekly basis. So why do I want to talk about living simply? Well, most people, they go to work and then they retire and then they start doing all the things they always wanted to do. They travel, they move to a different place, they take up some kind of hobby or interest that takes a lot of time or money or both. It's kind of what we culturally expect happens in retirement. You spend your younger years working hard, taking care of your family, putting money aside for retirement, taking care of your career. And then once you get to retirement, you have this whole new period of time where now it's your time, right? So you should enjoy yourself. And, typically the way we think of enjoying ourselves is doing more things. And so what we end up with is people in retirement who are busier than ever before. But now without the paycheck coming in every 2 weeks or every month to pay for these things, so what do people do? They dip into their retirement account. They spend down their savings, and this can really cause problems, especially if they run out of money, and especially if the things they re-spending the money on are actually giving them that much happiness. So that's why I want to talk about living simply. One of my favorite books on this topic is called Essentialism: The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown. And he says that we live in a world that glorifies busyness. I'm so busy. It's like the badge of honor. The busier we are, the more important we must be. But he says that if you look at the word busy, the B-U-N-S, why stand for being unproductive. So he makes the case in his book that instead of being busy, which is basically doing a lot of unimportant tasks, that we should instead focus on the important stuff and eliminate all the rest. And this can apply to retirement as well. So let me share with you a few ways that we can live more simply in retirement. First of all, I would encourage you to ask yourself, what do I value? If you're a person who values nature, well, maybe that means you live in a place where you can see the ocean or you have trees around. You have a yard where you can sit outside and enjoy nature. If you value friends and family, well, maybe it means making sure you're really close to where they live, or making sure you have a house big enough for everyone to stay when they come visit. And if you value learning, well, maybe it means moving to a place where there are lots of cultural activities or a good library or a good university nearby. So start by asking yourself, what do I value and how can I design my retirement around those values? Because often we make the mistake of thinking that we want the same things that we had in our working years. We want a big house. We want a nice car. We want all these things that we thought we needed to have in order to be happy. But that we didn't really stop and ask ourselves if that's really true or if that's just kind of the default setting. And maybe we've been trained to believe that those are the things that will make us happy. So take some time in retirement to really ask yourself, what do I value and how can I design my life around those values? Another way to live more simply is to consider getting rid of the things that you don't use anymore. So often we hold on to things either emotionally or just because we bought it and we paid good money for it and we hate to waste it. But if you're not using it, then consider getting rid of it. Maybe it's clothes that no longer fit you, or furniture that does unfit your current lifestyle, or tools that you'd never use, or even a second home that you're not using. These are the things that you can get rid of. Downsizing can be a great way to live more simply and also can help you move closer to that financial finish line. Another way to live more simply is to live within your means. This one seems obvious, but many retirees still make the mistake of living like they had a paycheck coming in forever. And when they retire, they're surprised to find that they have to tighten their belts a little bit and cut back on some of their spending. So as you enter retirement, take a close look at your budget, look at your income and expenses, and try to live within your means. And this is going to be easier if you have a retirement plan. So if you don't have a retirement plan, I would strongly encourage you to get one. You can hire someone like us to help you with that, or there is also some good software available online that can help you with that as well. Another way to live more simply is to really consider your transportation options. Do you really need a car payment? Do you need 2 cars? Do you need an SUV? These are all things that you can consider cutting back on. Maybe it means walking or biking or taking public transportation. Maybe it means having 1 car instead of 2, or maybe it means buying a more fuel-efficient car. There's lots of ways that you can reduce the amount of money that you spend on transportation, which is typically one of the biggest expenses for most families. Another way to live more simply is to just say no to some of those requests. Maybe it's lending money to friends or family, or maybe it's helping out with all those projects around the house, or maybe it's taking on that extra work project. Whatever it is, make sure you say no to the things that are important for you to say no to. And sometimes saying no is the only way we can protect our retirement. Now, another way to live more simply is to think about how you're spending your time. Are you spending your time in a way that's consistent with your values? Are you spending your time in a way that brings you joy? Or are you spending your time on things that don't really matter all that much? And you can ask yourself that question with your time as well. Just like I asked you to think about your spending, what brings you joy and what doesn't. Eliminate the things that don't bring you joy and focus on the things that do. The final way I want to talk about living more simply is really focusing on what you have, not on what you don't have. When we focus on what we don't have, we'll never be satisfied. And that S, because there's always going to be something else that we could get or some other way that we could spend our time. So I encourage you, in retirement, focus on what you have, the good health that you have, the supportive family and friends that you have, the comfortable home that you have. Focus on what you have. And I think you'll find that you'll be happier that way. If you're interested in digging deeper into this topic of living more simply, I would encourage you to check out that book, Essentialism: The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown. It was really helpful to me. I hope it's helpful to you as well. Well, that's it for this video on living simply so that we can live more happily in retirement. Remember, if you're getting value out of these videos, give us a thumbs up or a comment below. And also remember that you can subscribe to our channel. We put out videos on a weekly basis. It's our hope that our videos will help you through this journey through retirement.